Congressman Horsford asked a simple question: who actually benefits from this bill? And when the Trump official couldn't answer, not even about his own tax cut, the truth became impossible to hide.
Thank you, Chairman Smith, and to the ranking member. Mr. Secretary, good afternoon. Does taking health care away from 16 million Americans lower prices for working families, yes or no?
I'm not sure what that question means.
The bill, the big, beautiful bill that was passed by this committee and the majority of the Republicans in the House would eliminate health care for 16 million Americans. I'm asking, does that lower the cost for working families? Yes or no?
Again, which cost? Oil, fuel cost, food cost?
Household cost.
Sorry?
The cost that households have to cover every month. Middle class working people.
Again, I disagree with the characterization.
So the answer is no. The bill doesn't deal with that.
Well,
Can you
that's your
name
answer.
one rural community whose hospital will be strengthened by this one big, beautiful bill? Just one. Yes or no?
Again, I'm not HHS, but I will be happy to get to you on that.
I would appreciate that answer. 16 million people stand to lose health care. That's thousands of hospitals that will be affected. We're talking about jobs and families that will be impacted. Worse, we're dealing with these tariffs, which are taxes that Americans pay, which are raising the cost on medical equipment, putting further strain on rural hospitals in my district, but yet the billionaires under this plan will still get their tax break. Mr. Secretary, under the bill, who gets the most benefits? A billionaire with a complex tax return or a working parent with one W-2?
Under President Trump's first term, a greater...
Not the first term.
Well,
I'm asking under this bill.
Including this bill, in terms of percent, as opposed to absolute numbers, in terms of percent, working families will have a greater...
Well, in fact,
increase.
Mr. Secretary, every credible outside estimator says that the wealthiest win under this proposal and working people and the poor lose. They pay more. Working people pay more. That's the story of this big, beautiful bill. Help the ultra-rich and leave everyone else paying the price. Are you yourself a beneficiary of any provision in this bill? Will you personally receive a tax cut under the provisions of under this bill?
Two things, Congressman.
Yes or no? It's
we had a referendum on November 5th, and
Mr.
working
Secretary,
Americans
yes or
voted
no?
for President
Reclaiming
Trump.
my time.
And
Reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman.
Two,
Mr. Chairman, I'm reclaiming my time.
And two...
So, Mr. Secretary, it's my time, Mr. Secretary. I'm asking you a yes or no question.
I'm trying to answer you, and...
It's a yes or no question.
Saying it louder does not elicit an answer.
Well, not answering the question at all proves that you're evasive. Are you the head, the person that's the head of overseeing the implementation of our tax code, a beneficiary under the provisions of, any provisions of this bill?
Again, this is an extension of an existing bill.
So are you a beneficiary?
This is an extension.
Okay, I will take that as a no. Mr. Secretary, did the TCJA help increase the supply of housing? Yes or no?
Sorry?
Did the TCJA help increase the supply of housing? Yes or no?
I don't know. And
according to the Federal Reserve of Philadelphia, comparing the pre- and post-TCJA housing market, they found that between January of 2015 to October of 2019, housing construction, in fact, slowed under TCJA. So, Mr. Secretary, do tariffs on steel, aluminum, and lumber raise the cost of construction? Yes or no?
Again, on the housing point, the interest rates went up because the economy was stronger.
And under this proposal...
Inflation was nascent.
And under a budget report that just came out from the Yale Budget Lab, they just released data showing that because of the debt that is going to be added by this big, ugly bill, mortgage rates will increase. Are you aware of that?
I'm aware that
This bill is a
I'm aware that the
disaster
Inflation
for the
Reduction
people
Act,
of Nevada
which I guess you
who are
voted for.
struggling with the cost of rent and the ability to afford housing. These are the pressing issues that my constituents are concerned about, and I hope that this administration understands the impact of the negative consequences of their proposal.
This administration very
I
much
yield
understands
back.
the impacts on working Americans, and that's why working Americans voted for President Trump.
When you watch Congressman Horsford press Scott Bessent, you're watching more than a heated moment in a hearing. You're watching the mechanics of policy being pulled apart in real time. Horsford kept coming back to the same simple question: who wins under this big, beautiful bill? He wanted a yes or no. He wanted clarity. The official's refusal to give a straight answer is not just theater, it's the exact behavior that should make every working family sit up and pay attention. Here's what matters and why you should care. Legislation isn't just words on a page. It rearranges real incentives. Who pays more? Who pays less? Who keeps coverage? Who loses it? Horsford pointed out a string of concrete consequences. Up to 16 million people could lose health care. Rural hospitals could be weakened. Construction costs and mortgage pressures could rise because of tariffs and added federal debt. Those aren't abstract talking points. Those are family budgets, local hospitals, and small business loans. Let's unpack the mechanics so this isn't just a soundbite. First, take health coverage. When a bill reduces subsidies or changes eligibility, people who today get covered may no longer afford that coverage tomorrow. That reduces demand for hospital services in some areas, which hits rural hospitals hardest because they operate on thin margins. If a hospital treats fewer insured patients, its revenue falls, but fixed costs, staff, emergency equipment, maintaining a facility don't. That's why weakening coverage can mean fewer local services, layoffs, and longer drives for emergency care. Next, tariffs. Tariffs on steel, aluminum, and lumber are effectively taxes on inputs. When you tax the raw materials that go into construction and medical equipment, you raise the price of everything built with those materials. Hospitals buying new MRI machines or steel for renovations face higher bills. Builders face higher costs to put up apartments. Those added costs don't vanish. They flow through to consumers in the form of higher housing costs or delayed construction. Horsford flagged this because it's a direct line from policy choice to higher monthly bills for families. Now look at tax cuts and who benefits. Tax policy can favor capital over labor. Think lower rates on investment income, special breaks for certain complex deductions, or provisions that primarily help high-income taxpayers. When Horsford asked directly whether the wealthy get a bigger share of the gains, he was asking about distribution. Are benefits concentrated at the top while working families shoulder cuts in services and higher costs? That's not hypothetical. Multiple independent analyses of similar proposals have often shown a pattern where upper-income groups get a larger percentage of tax savings, while middle and lower-income households face reductions in services or higher effective costs. Why does it matter that Bessent wouldn't say whether he personally benefits? For two reasons. One, it's a transparency issue. If the people making and defending policy stand to gain from it personally, voters have a right to know. Two, it speaks to incentives. If policymakers are shielding benefits for a narrow group, it helps explain why the bill's framers might accept harms to broader communities. When the official diverts, deflects, or insists the question is unclear, it erodes trust, and it prevents voters from fully understanding the stakes. Congressional oversight exists for exactly this reason. Horsford's line of questioning isn't grandstanding. It's the tool citizens use through their representatives to demand that policy serve the public interest, not private pockets. When members probe specifics, how many will lose coverage, which hospitals will close, which communities lose funding, they're forcing accountability. That's crucial because many voters don't get to see the long economic chain that starts in committee rooms and ends in the price they pay at the pharmacy or the local ER. What should viewers take away? First, policy details matter. Big beautiful or big ugly labels are rhetoric. The actual winners and losers are decided by the fine print. Second, follow the incentives. Tax breaks, tariffs, and coverage changes each have predictable economic effects on health access, housing affordability, and local jobs. Third, insist on transparency. If officials won't say whether they or their stakeholders benefit, treat that silence as information in itself. If you want to be an engaged citizen, don't stop at the clip. Look up the bill language. Ask your representatives for plain language summaries of who gains and who loses, and support local reporting that tracks hospitals, schools, and small businesses affected by these policies. Demand answers. That's exactly what Horsford did today. If you found this breakdown useful and want more of these deep dives that explain not just what happened, but why it matters, like the video, share it with someone who needs to know, and subscribe to Left Lens so you don't miss the next episode where we follow these stories from committee rooms to kitchen tables.